I haven't seen a contract. I am, as you know, we are frustrated by some of the conditions in the kitchen that we would like to help fix. The way I see it is that there is not one operator overseeing the whole space. And if there is an operator, I would have different expectations for the delivery of the space.
Sure. So I guess from our standpoint is we've operated and used this kitchen for a wide variety of things in the last 2.5 years. And we've never really run into any issues. And, this has become, I think, more than we wanted to take on as far as having to handhold and babysit and deal with all this versus, this was supposed to be, we're going to supplement under and give you guys a space versus you guys wanted to come in and be the sole operator and run the kitchen. We don't need someone to do that.
Well, it's a proposal. It's we have experience in running spaces like this. Obviously, the model that we have created is the model that was used to determine the format for the kitchen. What are you thinking?
I mean,
what's your plan? What's your plan here?
I think that it's a shared space, and it needs to be used that way. And you don't feel that you want to be part of that team. I guess you're taking it in a way that's not okay with us. How's that sound?
Could you repeat that? It broke up a little bit.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Could you repeat that? It was garbled a little bit.
Oh, I'm saying that it's a shared space and we've operated as such. And I feel like you're coming in trying to take over a certain level of ownership of which was never talked about.
Yeah, no, I had discussed possibilities with David about how the space could be more cohesively operated. Mm-hmm. That's my goal. I think that it's, here we are. What is your plan, Adam? What are your thoughts?
My thoughts is that clearly there's a tension here, and I don't see it. Honestly, I don't see it being resolved. Like I don't have the time to make a list of what if this, what if that, and have to answer every email about soap and all these other things. Like we've never had a problem with someone coming in here, and then you guys there's been more issues with you guys coming in than anyone else we've ever had in the space. So I know that you said to David, if it's not up to your standards, that you're willing to walk away, right?
Sounds like that's what you're encouraging us to do.
You told David that. I know you did. So if it's not going to be,
I don't have. What is your plan? I'm still waiting for your plan. I'm still waiting for your.
If you can't operate within these bounds and figure it out on yourselves, then we can't have a relationship.
What are the bounds? What are you offering? Because like I said, I'm still not understanding how this is supposed to operate.
Yeah, I think it doesn't seem, I think we're trying to beat around the bush, but it doesn't seem like it's going to work out as a partnership that can move forward. I think we've felt.
Is that because we as the Brooklyn Kitchen require soap and sanitizer to be provided with the space? Is that because we as the Brooklyn Kitchen require ovens that work? Is it because we require a space that does not have mice? We've been patient and professional in all of the ways that we've been requesting certain, I think, standards.
I agree. And I think
you're kicking us out because I called you out on this place not being operated well. Sounds like that's what's happening.
I think that if the relationship felt different, this was things that had been circling around in the last week or so, which was when, to address some of the things that you're bringing up, which of course are going to take time. And we recognize that you're the volume that you're using it necessitates some of those things, but it certainly doesn't do with us needing to respect those things. I think we've been extremely disrespected by the way the space has been used, and we don't need to make a laundry list of it, but there has been no indication that it will be treated, to Adam's point, as a shared space, and we just do not feel confident that we can move forward in a way that meets both of our needs. And I just think in everyone's best interest, before we continue with a contract, to just sort of have called this a trial period and say we gave it, and it just is not.
I'm sorry. I've invested far too much for you to just pull the plug on this. This is disingenuous. You know exactly what we do, exactly what services we provide, which is hands-on cooking classes, right? And I'm sorry that you feel disrespected. This is not an emotional or a personal consideration. We are operators. Like, we know how to operate a space. And what we walked into was a space that had never been maintained and had never been correctly operated.
So I think that's where the disconnect is you've never operated a shared space, right? You've always had your own kitchen. Did you have your own kitchen? I mean, we have more parties coming.
Excuse me. For 8 years, I operated a shared space within the 100 Cross Street lab.
Okay.
There were several businesses that operated within that space.
Okay. So go ahead. Then what do you to us? Because we're not going to, the amount of time I think that you want us to spend to help correct this to whatever needs that you met, we don't have the bandwidth. And we can keep going along on our course. Hold on. We can keep going on our course and have all of our other partners come in and do all of our private events without any of this stress for us. You realize that?
I don't know. I don't know your operations. I don't know.
This is the issue. Like, we're in an impasse here, right? Like, I just don't. It's hard for us to see how a relationship will go forward when it's already this tenuous.
Let's come to an understanding. So your plan is we vacate.
I mean, my understanding is that you had conversation with David, and that if you were not the sole operator and things were not brought to the levels that you specifically want, you guys were going to leave. Is that true or not true?
I had absolutely spoke to him about this not being a successful working relationship with the way that the space was being operated right now. There are too many. Yeah, I mean,
okay. So for us, you have to understand, for us and our purposes, the space provides all to provide. Okay. I understand there's mice. There's mice everywhere. It's New York. I have pest control every stall every day here. Okay. Like, that's a problem that we will try to address. But like all these other little things like soap and sanitizer, like, go figure it out, buy it, lock it away. Like, the amount of hand holding I have that you guys are asking from me is more than I have to do for other vendors. And for someone who had such a successful, I'm confused as to why you can't be flexible and understand that space is shared and be more able to solve your problems.
I'm unable to solve my problems because I don't have a lease or anything.
Can I just add, I know I'm just like listening most of this. The emails that I'm sending you about mice and soap and all that stuff, I thought I had to go to you for that
Isn't that
stuff.
the way it should work? Yeah.
I thought I couldn't order soap like directly, that I had to go through you guys. And if that's not it, I just need to be told that and I can order it.
I mean, I guess it's in the same thing as like, had your own pot, like you use your own pots and pans. If you feel like you're going through more things more than you need to, or if the things are not, and just like we had a conversation about the tables, Taylor, like the stuff for us is up to our spec. If it's not for you, you fill in the gaps and figure it out. I don't need to do that for you. Like, we're not this for us, like the contract amount value that we're talking about for us per month is not worth it for me to go through all these hoops. I can do one private event a month and get more money out of it. Okay. So you have to realize, like, this is to fill a calendar and to do goodwill and to provide classes, but from a revenue side, it's not worth it.
Okay, well, I'm not sure what the mandate is for you, revenue versus community service.
I already provide a lot of community. I provide so much community as is. Like, you know, it's filling in a little. We have so much community oriented programming already. So if for the I'm just saying for the
I don't know. I just said I don't
it's
know.
on a calendar. It's on a public calendar how much we do. It's not like a
I don't know what's expected. I don't know. I don't understand your priorities. That I don't need to understand. My proposal is that we would offer a designated manager of the space who would be responsible to you to operate on your behalf. And we would shortcut all of the requirements for you to be involved with SOAP. But it sounds like you've got this.
But I guess I don't understand, like, what does that do for me? I don't need, you know, I guess, like, what do I need a person for?
You're right. This is not a productive conversation. If this is not something that you are inclined to pursue, then so what's the plan?
The plan, from my understanding, is if it's not up to your standards, which it is not, then you guys can't operate in the kitchen. So what do you want?
Your offer, what is your offer? What are you proposing?
If you guys want to walk away, you can walk away. Okay?
And what is your offer if we do stay? What's the plan? Like what is the consideration?
I don't know how to find that.
I do. I mean, I have staff. I have a lot invested in this.
Okay.
And we are very close, you know, like we're getting listed in the Times next week. We have partnerships developing with some some great people. And, you know, I was just starting to put together Pickle Day again, but.
I guess maybe the question is, if we're still here, are the ovens going to be like working and mice and all that stuff covered? Otherwise, we'll deal with soap and whatever else. Like, are we going to be able to use all the appliances that are in the kitchen?
Look, the mice thing, we had pest control here Saturday or Friday today. Like, there is a lot of work that needs to be done. Like, I don't foresee, I can't tell you that in a week the problem with the pest is going to be solved, right? Like, I can't tell you that. I mean, they need to fill holes in the entire outside of this building to solve the problem. Okay, like, that is a structural issue that could take weeks to solve. You know, and maybe because the kitchen wasn't being used at a frequency that you guys are using with food, that we didn't have this problem before. Okay, we didn't. We just we never ran into this. We never had to have pest control come into the kitchen. Regarding the oven, yes, the ovens need to work. We've never, as Lauren said, like, we've never ran all four at one time, you know, and okay, so there's some problems there and we can get someone out, but I can't have them tomorrow.
No,
you know, I don't know. I don't know what you would want from us for you to keep operating there, because I'm not going to, you can't be the sole operator of that kitchen. That's not the.
Okay, that was an idea. That was a discussion. That was a rough sketch, as I discussed with David. That was what we had initially discussed with him when we were contacted about the development of this entire space. That was what we had been discussing. Again, this is the continuation of a conversation. I still, 6 months in, don't have a proposal from you or a contact from you. So I don't know what it is. What's this track, the current track that is different, you know, what is the current track separate from the alternate track which was proposed?
Sorry, I missed you.
I think what we don't feel like has been happening is that, to put it in the broadest of terms, is that, again, to reiterate on the shared space concept, that when you are not in there, that it is a place where I, as the bid, or the many other partners and rentals that happen at other points in the week, can come in and use that space as a clean slate. Mm-hmm. And that when you're the designated times that you're in there, that you can fashion the space as you see fit. And that has not been my experience over the last couple of weeks. And that's been extremely frustrating. And I think that has been a big issue where,
again, we don't have anything to do on what your expectations and standards
are. You knew very well what the expectations were. We talked about a specific area for you to secure your things. We talked about you being able to personalize the space when you are in the space, but then to leave it as a blank slate so that it can be used by everyone else that has been using it. That is not the way that it has been happening at all. So I feel like that's just how I talk, that you have come into the space and monopolized it way outside of the bounds that were discussed. And as Adam said, I think it's been really challenging to make this work between all of us. And I don't know, I think we have a lack of trust between all of us. And I think that's what's going to make it hard for it to work out.
So what's your proposal?
I don't want to, I have no interest in correcting all of these things to make it to your standards. So it's not about what I want to do. It's that you feel like you can't operate in there as it is today, right? If you want me to take a contract and make it so tight and give you every what ifs, sure, it's going to take me forever to do that. And I'll try to do every scenario, but like, I don't have to do that with any other vendor in here, you know? Like, if we can do this, okay, what if there's nothing this? What if this? Call this person. Like, sure.
This is, you're not.
The amount of money, hold on, Taylor, the amount of money is so small. It's like $1,500 a month we're talking about. Like, it's not worth it for me. You understand? If you want to talking 15 grand a month, sure, I'll gladly take all the time in the world to do this. This is not a revenue generator. So
I didn't get, sorry, I understand where you're coming from on that. I have not yet begun to work on developing the business here, right? Like we have clients who are looking to us for, but that doesn't seem to be your interest.
What would you like to do? Let's try this. What would you like to do to move forward? I'm going to ask you.
So what are you proposing? If we have classes scheduled, through the end of the year, and we have partnerships developed, and I've been working on doing business development to develop those corporate stuff in the afternoons. I am, we have invested time, energy, effort, money in this, and I would like to continue.
Okay. I would be remiss, of course, if you have things booked through the end of the year. That's shitty, right? I wouldn't want to put you in a position where you have to throw that away. Okay. But I can't guarantee that come January, we're going to continue this. So I guess Lauren and I need to talk about this, and then we can follow up with you tomorrow.
Well, what should I tell Florence Fabricant?
Sorry?
What should I tell the New York Times? What are we doing here?
I mean, you surely should have not run the New York Times in here without telling me. I'll tell you that right now. That's a no-no.
I emailed you.
Like right before it was too late.
Photographer, like this is journalism, like it's press. They come together quickly. They emailed me on Friday. I emailed you. Why? What?
Because EDC, the city is very particular about how press threats run through.
This is really interesting and important for me to have known before.
But I wouldn't put, that's something that would never have been put in a, like, that's something that we govern so well. But,
Okay, so what am I telling the Times? Am I killing it? Is that something that the EDC would prefer not to have run?
I mean, it's not necessarily going to be a reflection on us, if it doesn't pan out, it's just going to be awkward, I guess, for you guys. It's just, that's the thing is like, that's why we don't bring press in.
Okay, so I just got chastised for calling for the New York Times coming to cover us. How would I have known that this would have been a problem? I feel like
I believe that we were on an email once and I connected you with our press team, right?
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Yep.
So knowing that you were on an email with our press team, I would have behooved you to have emailed them also and said, hey, by the way, the Times might be running a thing. There's no way that all of a sudden, 24 hours, one day the next, New York Times has told you. You must have been talking to them for a period of time. Yes or no?
It came up like Wednesday, yeah. but the photographer came up Friday.
Doesn't matter.
You're right. I don't understand what the issue is, what the problem is.
The problem, I guess, is that you want to run the space as your own, and it's not. It's a shared space. That's the problem.
Correct. It is a shared space. It is
And
a shared space.
I don't know if you'll be able to get over the hurdle of it being a shared space, and that there's a numerous amount of community groups in there, and the kitchen is run by us, and that's the way it is.
If the kitchen is run by you, then there are certain expectations that we would have, right? Like the functioning equipment and safe operations. That's, I mean, and again, this had come up earlier, like the soap question was an email to you in June or July. It's
I just don't, do you understand? You see how this is going right now? I just don't understand how we're going to bridge the gap between us with this level of contention. Do you? Do you honestly feel that we can do that?
I have invested time, energy, effort, and money, and I have events booked and tickets sold. And I don't understand how the EDC and the bid, the business improvement, like how you are stonewalling and standing in the way of us being able to develop our commerce, develop our economy. Like, come on.
That's not.
The bid is not, just to be clear, the bid is not involved in this in any regard.
No.
I'm a supporting.
This I don't know, right? And I am trying to understand how this is supposed to operate, and I have gone out of my way to try and figure out what the operations should be, because I have never been giving any, operational guidelines. No, nothing's been given to me as far as what needs to be the expectations. Trying to figure out how to make the space work for as many people as possible, right? And cooking is and should be part of the core function of the kitchen. And that's what I'm trying to work out. But Lauren, you just said that you don't have anything to do with this. What are we? What
The bid does not. The bid does not.
I just wanted to make clear that the partnership is not involved in this conversation whatsoever.
I just don't know how it operates. So I'm just trying to, you represent, that agency in my mind.
Sure. Can you give us, Lauren and I, a couple minutes, and I'll send you an email or call you and figure out how to proceed?
Sure.
Okay. Clearly an impasse right now. All right, thanks.